Prince Harry's Invictus Games disaster, a speech that left everyone stunned, but not in a good way. The Invictus Games are meant to be a celebration of resilience, a platform for wounded veterans to showcase their strength and determination. But this year, the event in Vancouver was overshadowed by something else entirely: Prince Harry's disastrous speech. What was supposed to be an uplifting and inspiring moment quickly turned into a cringeworthy debacle, leaving veterans, supporters, and even the media utterly baffled. From the moment Harry took the stage, something felt off. His usual confidence was missing. Instead of delivering a heartfelt speech that resonated with the audience, he stumbled through an incoherent, uninspired monologue that lacked depth and direction. Phrases meandered without clear purpose, and at times, it seemed as if he was simply reading off a script he barely understood. For an event dedicated to honoring the sacrifices of military personnel, his words felt hollow, detached from the very people he was supposed to be uplifting. The veterans, many of whom had endured life-changing injuries and hardships, sat in awkward silence, exchanging confused glances as Harry spoke. It was clear, this was not the inspiring message they had expected. A speech so bad, even Norton couldn't resist mocking it. The speech didn't just fall flat in the arena, it became an international joke overnight. Talk show host Norton wasted no time tearing into it on his show, playing clips of Harry's stumbling delivery and sarcastically questioning, "Does anyone actually know what he was trying to say?" The audience erupted in laughter, and the clip quickly went viral. Social media users piled on, calling the speech vague, disconnected, and embarrassingly weak. Some even went as far as to accuse Harry of using the Invictus Games as a desperate attempt to stay relevant. #Harry's flop speech and #Invictus disaster trended worldwide as thousands of users weighed in on the catastrophe. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. "How do you mess up a speech at an event you created?" This was supposed to be his moment, and he completely butchered it. Another user added, "Harry used to give powerful, moving speeches at Invictus. Now, he sounds like he doesn't even believe in what he's saying anymore." The backlash was swift and brutal. What happened to the man who once captivated audiences with his passionate support for veterans? Comparing the fall from grace. It's impossible not to compare this speech to Harry's previous Invictus addresses. In years past, he spoke with genuine conviction and empathy, bringing audiences to their feet with his powerful words. Those speeches were a reflection of a man who truly seemed to care about the wounded warriors he was honoring. But this time, there was no fire, no passion, just an empty, lifeless attempt to check a PR box. Many are now asking, has Prince Harry lost the ability to connect with the cause he once championed? Even major media outlets didn't hold back their criticism. Headlines from respected publications read, "Prince Harry's Invictus Games speech, a stunning fall from grace. Awkward silence at Invictus Games as Harry fumbles through speech. Harry's speech disaster. Is he losing touch with the veteran community?" The reputation hit he couldn't afford. For a man whose public image has already taken a massive hit in recent years, this disaster only worsens things. Harry has long been accused of being out of touch, and this speech only fueled that perception. Some analysts have even questioned whether he still genuinely believes in the mission of the Invictus Games, or if he's simply clinging to it as one of the last things giving him credibility. Veterans organizations have remained largely silent, but insiders claim there was deep disappointment behind the scenes. One anonymous source close to the Invictus Games committee reportedly stated, "This was supposed to be a moment of unity and strength. Instead, it became a PR nightmare." Even supporters who have stood by Harry through his many controversies struggled to defend him this time. The consensus was clear: this was a disaster he couldn't afford. A shift in public perception. Once celebrated as the prince who broke free from royal constraints to carve out his own meaningful path, Harry is now struggling to prove he still has a purpose. And if the reaction to this speech is anything to go by, he's failing. The man who once inspired wounded veterans to push beyond their limits now seems like an outsider in the very community he helped build. And that's perhaps the most painful part of all, not just for Harry, but for the veterans who once saw him as a true champion of their cause. So, what comes next? Can Prince Harry salvage what's left of his credibility, or has this speech sealed his fate as a man out of touch with his own legacy? Only time will tell. One thing is certain: if he wants to stay relevant, he needs to do a lot more than just show up and read from a script.